Alright, I know I'm a little late to the party here with the Scotland map trailer, but I am fresh off a 12-hour drive home, and I do want to go ahead and play the full trailer. I think it kind of sets the Scotland vibes here, hopefully as does the background music, and then we'll get into all that stuff and more.
Alright pal, welcome to Tornasheen, Scotland. For centuries, adventurers have been drawn here, exploring our rich wilderness and enchanting countryside. Here history and myth interweave to create the stuff of legends. Up on the Highlands it's more than a wee bit nippy. Only the toughest wildlife survive here. And the greatest prize of all is the red deer. It's a scene straight off a shortbread tin. Down in the Midlands, the hills roll right into vast moors of heather. Without much shelter, residents have taken matters into their own hands, or claws. The European badger might look cute, but 12 stitches will they? Where the fields meet the forests, you'll find an animal at home in both. The pine marten. You'll often see one out on the hunt for anything from bugs to berries, if you can actually spot the wee barra. The woods here are home to some unique and interesting species, as well as artefacts from times long ago. In the lowlands to the south, you'll find the bonny Castellan. It's a must for any visitor and offers a smashing view of the water. Our rivers and lochs play host to all sorts of wildlife. I hear the most elusive of them all has been spotted down below. The mink, diving deep to catch its dinner. Hey, what did you think I meant? There's a natural beauty to Scotland that's almost magical. But it's the land's legends that'll put you under our spell. Even with all the stories you've heard. I bet we've got a few twists in store. So, come on. We can't wait for you to begin your tale at Tornasheen, Scotland.
And before we dive into the trailer stuff itself, all 17 species have now been confirmed. So we'll start with the new ones. We have European badger, of course we knew that, pine marten, and American mink. Both of those had been confirmed prior to the trailer. Red grouse, that is a new one, and Eurasian woodcock. We have those on my property, so I think that's actually cool. They got added and we'll talk about those because they were shown in the trailer. The remodeled species, we knew there were 3. Roe deer are the one that we hadn't already learned about, and then red deer and wild boar we already knew. By the way, the roe deer looked really good, and I'm pretty sure they redid the true racks as well. Then, as far as returning species, sika deer, feral goat, capercaillie, Eurasian widgeon, fallow deer, red fox, ringneck pheasant, mountain hare, and black grouse. So, pretty cool lineup here. Not a lot of really big species. So this is going to be another one of those kind of like beginner-friendly maps, like a Reventuli Coast, like a Te Awaroa, as we're walking around on it right now. The Scottish Highlands reminded me of some of the parts of Te Awaroa. No really big gun needed to hunt this map. Speaking of the map, let's get into the map trailer. And again, like some of these scenic views, the map still looks stunning. We continue to see more and more shots of it. I think it's going to be one of the most like visually stunning maps, if not the most visually stunning, in the entire game. Now, at first, I thought these were red grouse, but I think they're actually female capercaillie. If you guys can tell for sure, let me know in the comments below, but you can't, like, see the faces of them very good. We do then see the remastered roe deer. I'm going to zoom in here. I believe that is redone true racks. If anything, like, they're at least scaled up, because I can think of one roe deer rack that kind of mimics that, but at the very least, it looks different. The antlers are either bigger or redone. That we shall see as we go down the line. But really excited for that. The roe deer badly needed a redo. And I think they look a whole lot better. A lot like fluffier there. And I mean, it's one of the OG models. So it was about time. I think, by the way, too, that may be a roe deer out there behind the player characters. It's hard to say, but it looks like it, like, scale-wise and stuff, about the right size. I do find it interesting, by the way, that they featured the lab now twice in these trailers, and like maybe that could mean there's a new dog species on the way, like potentially something like some kind of small dog to flush burrowing animals like badgers out. Like I thought maybe there could be a correlation there. That we shall see down the line, but thought it was interesting we've seen labs twice. Again, some of these scenic shots though are just incredible. I'm really excited to hunt around the map and just kind of like take it all in, because I think it's going to look really, really nice. But here's where things with the trailer really get interesting. Red grouse for sure this time. We can really see him walking around there. Looks like we're going to get thunderstorms, at least like up in the highlands. I hope it's like Sooner Paton-esque, where the storm rolls in and it's a whole thing. I'm hoping the thunderstorm doesn't just appear there. That we shall, of course, find out. Much nicer look we get at the male red grouse there. Again, I think they look really, really nice. That's going to be cool to have them. Curious as to the rares, and we'll get into some rare stuff a little bit later on. I will say this, I love the red deer remodel. I think they look a whole lot better. But I wish we had like subspecies, because those antlers in Scotland would just be absolutely nuts. So like we have the subspecies for Desert Bighorn versus Rocky Mountain Bighorn. Now there's no change in the scores, diamond, gold, all that. But maybe there's hope for that as we move forward. I do think the Sika deer fit in really nicely here in Scotland, but I kind of wish we got a remodel there. Like, the red deer got a remodel not that long ago. I wouldn't have hated seeing Sika deer get one. I don't love how they look. Anyway, them being on the map is going to be really nice. I really like them, but they're only here on Te Awaroa and in limited spots. So moving on to the badgers, I thought the badger animation, like leaving the burrow there, was excellent. Like you literally see the fur kind of move along like the sides of the burrow as he exits, and then there's this little warning call. The sound and the animation, I really love those as well. Like you literally see him expel the air as he's making that sound for the warning call. The pine martens I thought looked great. Now, we did not get to see any in trees, which is like kind of their thing. Fingers crossed, like maybe that's going to be some big reveal later on, but I think that's a behavior that probably would have been heavily featured in the trailer, given that like squirrels and stuff have been asked for forever, if it was going to be a thing. So my guess is we won't see it. Fingers crossed, maybe they'll be climbing around up there in those trees. We see the woodcock here, and as I said, we actually have them on my property. I've seen them a couple of times here. They're a neat little bird, and I suspect they're going to be a challenging diamond on the level of like bobwhite and stubble quail. Just like knowing them in real life, how few and far between encounters with them tend to be, that's the kind of like level of rarity I'm expecting out of those. We do finally get a longer look at the wild boar remodel. Definitely is a massive upgrade over the old models. It's still a kind of brief glimpse, but more so we got to see in the past. The lodge interior, by the way, and just the water itself, I thought they looked really, really nice. And I want to replay this part real quick for you.
I hear the most elusive of them all's been spotted down below. The mink diving deep to catch its dinner. Hey, what did you think I meant?
I'm fairly sure that's a Loch Ness Monster joke. I think it is. But then we do get to see the American mink and his like swimming and diving behaviors. And he's like a speedy little swimmer. So shooting them in the water, kind of similar to beavers, but much more difficult, I would think, is going to be a challenge. So that's kind of like where I left off, at least, with what I thought were the highlights of the trailer, the main things, new stuff, things we hadn't seen before, new shots of things, all that kind of stuff. Overall, the 17 species, and of course there being 5 new ones, 3 remasters, so right about half are going to feel like a new experience, because we've talked about the remasters before. Just getting the remodel really, really brings that species back to life. Could have done with a few more big game species in my opinion, but I love a good Reventuli Stalls Weasel hunt where there's like consistent small game opportunities. I think we're going to see some of that. We, of course, know there's widgeon and other species like that as well, in addition to the pine martens and the mink and the badgers. It's going to depend how the map plays, really, but I'm looking forward to that, especially like up in those highlands and stuff. A few other things, though, just quickly since I was away. they released this short, and they mislabeled the mink and the pine marten. They got them backwards, but they appear to show some of the rare mustelids here. There's what I think is like a blonde badger. I don't know, but I can't imagine that's a common variety. Then there's another one here, I think a leucistic going into the burrow. I imagine that's leucistic. We definitely see a piebald mink. And then the pine martens, again, labeled backwards. All those looked common. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary there. Though I thought it was odd, like rare badgers almost certainly, rare mink for sure. No rare pine marten? Like maybe it was rare there and it wasn't very obvious. Anyway, the last thing, and this was almost a week ago, there is a look at the new semi-automatic 12-gauge shotgun, which, as we'd expect from 12-gauge, covers classes 1 to 8 across the 3 ammo types, birdshot, buckshot, and slugs. I think it looks sleek. I love the design, and I will say I don't care for the semi-auto 10 gauges. So I'm hoping this could possibly be like the next, best shotgun in the game. Right now for me, it's still the 16 gauge. Like I think it does the best job on pheasants, waterfowl, things like that. Maybe the new semi-auto 12 gauge can take its place. So I think with that pretty well covers all the new stuff to this point, at least everything that I've seen. As I said, I've been away, but overall, I'm quite excited for Scotland. We, of course, know the release date is December 9th, so just a couple of weeks away as I release this video. Gonna be really cool to get out there, hunt those species, get after what I think are gonna be some rare diamonds. They talked about, like, the pine martens are gonna be tough to see, the mink, like, these are small animals, the woodcock as well. I think they're gonna be pretty well hidden, and I imagine they're gonna be some challenging hunts, so I think that's gonna be cool. It's going to be a new experience for sure, hunting mustelids like the first time they're being added to the game, those sorts of behaviors, the terrain itself, and actually just kind of as we're coming up here, like a big overlook here where it's super foggy, I'd expect to see that kind of thing up in the Scottish Highlands. And again, that is the part of the map that I'm most excited to actually get out there and hunt. So I think on that note, that's pretty well going to do it for this video. I want to know in the comments below of the species list and then of like the map itself. What are you looking forward to most? What species? What like area you're looking to hunt? Is it the fact that the badgers burrow? Are you looking forward to the pine martens? What on that map is your favorite thing? Honestly, for me right now, I think it's badgers. Pretty excited to hunt the badgers out there and also like see that burrowing behavior. Is it going to be like the European rabbits or will they behave any differently? Anyway, on that note, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know again in the comments below your thoughts on the brand new Tornasheen Scotland map coming December 9th to the Hunter Call of the Wild. And I will see you next time.